Oh, wow. We both made it back for a recap for once.
Yep, it's been a while for me.
And I've been hit or miss. And now we're here together talking about this finale. We're done! The first one of the year! We're done. Oh.
It's true. Could have been longer, honestly.
Yes, why isn't it a 10-episode season?
Yeah.
Crave.
Used to be.
No, it's always been 8.
Mm-mm. You mean 9, and it has not. Okay, let's pause this video so we can confirm.
Well, fuck, David's right. Anyway, yes, we did pause, and yes, we did check. Yeah, season 1 and 2 are 10 episodes.
Yep.
Anyway, hello, bonjour, hi. Welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the seat in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy. Say something gay. I have some sweet tea with lemon currently and some water. I'm real tired today, so we're making it through as well as we can. My merch didn't make it here in time for the fucking finale, even though I ordered it weeks ago, and I'm pissed, but it's fine. Anyway, here's a cup mug.
Where can you get
one of
that?
those days? LanaGcreations.etsy.com. That link is in the description below. We do ship domestically within North America and internationally, so there are no excuses.
Well, I'm David Healy, and I don't have a cute intro, but I do have a cute shirt. I am wearing my Poison, my Helena Poison shirt.
How cute.
Yes. I was like, well, this is the only person in the top 4 that I have of their shirt, and I definitely need the other 3. But it felt fitting to wear her shirt.
I was going to say, yes, you do.
I do? Oh, I need them. Yes, I do.
You do need them.
I was like, no, I don't. I don't have them yet, Logan.
You need them.
But I am just drinking some water.
Period. Yeah, I ordered a Perla hat, thinking that it would be here in time for the finale. It is in the process of shipping, finally. So that's fun. So if you order any Canadian diva merch from dragqueenmerch.com, shout out to Drag Queen Merch, who does a great job, but Canadian distribution has been weird. Regardless, we are here. It is the end of season 5 of Canada's Drag Race. Our first queen of 2025 has been crowned, and we talked to her earlier today, so make sure to check out our interview because, we do those things. But we're going to talk about the finale, all the wonderful things that happened. Before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag race, interviews, and everything in between. And make sure to check out the description below where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, and our Patreon for exclusive content and early access. So, we come into the workroom, and Perla's gone.
Man, I think fans are so upset about that.
Everyone is up in arms about Perla going home.
I think it's safe to say she's the fan favorite this season.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably a combination of her and Jaylene.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was sad to see her go, but there still are 5 queens there because we have Jimbo. Yay! I love Jimbo.
I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity. Yes, Jimbo is here. Jimbo is present again. Jimbo is currently in Drag the Musical, so go check that out if you can.
And I got to interview Jimbo last weekend. And apparently I had really cringe expressions and movements.
Oh, you don't need to bring it up.
Like an alien's first time piloting a human body.
I don't understand why you let those comments get you. But whatever.
Because I am weak and sensitive. But that's okay. I got to talk to 9 of the 11 queens from the season and the host. So, yeah, fun time. Go check out that video.
Boom. But yeah, Pearl is gone. But they made it to top 4. It's top 4. Oh my god, top 4. Top 4. And this whole episode was just top 4.
It
And
was.
For all intents and purposes, it was a pretty standard finale with some lovely, lovely highlights.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a good wig with some good highlights.
Exactly. And I really do believe all 4 of the finalists had areas in the finale where they really shined.
Yes.
Nobody flopped the finale, thank God.
No, some people did not perform as well as others in certain areas. We'll talk about it, but yeah, so everyone comes into the workroom the next day. We get Tracy coming in, telling them that the final maxi challenge is going to be to release your own single.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate that at least we're doing something a little bit different than just doing a remix.
Yeah, and I miss that too. So I was surprised when the challenge started and it actually ended up being different songs. I'm like, oh, I thought they were doing their own verses. So I need
So
to pay
this is
attention
why
to
sometimes we listen to the episodes, David.
yeah.
Anyway. Then I love you. The number of times you miss things that are like very pertinent to the TV show. I'm like, darling.
Well, next time I won't out myself, I guess.
Well, don't let comments get to you because you're a lovely, beautiful human who has a lot to offer this world. And people and things and places and things. Anyway. But yeah, so we're doing our own individual verses. We're doing choreography with Hollywood Jade. Oh, and no big deal. Your vocal coach is Orville Peck.
Mm-hmm.
No big deal or anything.
Apparently, Helena's a big fan, which I was like, I wouldn't have guessed that.
It doesn't surprise me.
It surprised me because, like, if I had to guess, like, musical interests for Helena, I think country would be pretty low on the list. But
I'm going to counter that by saying, of the top 4, who do I think would be the most into Orville Peck? Helena.
That's fair. I don't think I've heard a single Orville Peck song, to be honest.
I love him. I'm a huge fan of Orville Peck.
Okay.
His Bronco album is wonderful. I'll
take your word for it.
He's just a sweetheart of a human.
I will say he has a very attractive, like, this part of his face and eyes. Yes.
You know, there are photos of him online.
You know, every time I try to Google it, and I have multiple times, I'm not very successful.
Really?
Yeah. I see like other pictures of people that might look similar to him, but you can tell it's probably not the same person.
Yeah. So. I mean, he used to be the front man of another band, so that's why a lot of people know that. Yeah, I don't remember what the band was called, but yeah, it's like common knowledge on the internet, I guess, if you look for it. His actual name.
Okay.
Regardless, I'm just a huge fan. I like him a lot, so I know.
He seems really nice.
Oh yeah, an absolute sweetheart. I mean, he's been on U.S. Drag Race before. He is good with the girls. Like, I wasn't surprised to see him here, but I was like, oh, hi, Orville Peck. Love that. But yeah, so the girls we're going between doing a photo shoot and having a conversation with Venus. We are doing our songs. We're doing our choreo, all that lovely stuff that takes up the bulk of the episode. But let's start where they did with the final photo shoot with Venus, which I thought was lovely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this. I was like, how is Venus going to be leading this conversation? But I thought she did a pretty good job. And of course, I thought it was very fitting when I found out they would be doing naked photo shoots with her, kind of in the style of American Beauty. So yeah, I like this segment. It was good.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I don't think one of Venus's strengths really is, the one-on-one like interview kind of thing. I like Venus a lot. She was my pick to win. But I'm not saying it didn't feel authentic. I don't want to say that. She felt nervous doing this too. And I get that. There was a
She
little bit of
probably was.
nerve.
And if you think about it, like, I think this was probably 2 months after she won. So it was still probably very fresh for her.
Really?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I think they filmed this in March, and she
Okay.
just met her 1 year anniversary of being crowned. So it's not a quick turnaround to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. But the photo shoots I loved. I loved that we had all the leaves and it was the maple leaf, but it's still very, naked. Minnie didn't have the budget to make another nude illusion, so she just said, "You know what? I'm not hiding the shoulders today."
Part of me doesn't believe that. I bet Minnie brought something, but was like, why wear that when I can just go for the real thing?
Maple leaves, hide the shoulder. No.
Show those shoulders. All the shoulders.
I didn't pull the photos, but what was your favorite?
I don't think I had a favorite. I just liked all of them. I liked how comfortable everybody felt too. Because it could be pretty easy. Like, even if you are in a nude illusion, sometimes it could be like easy to get self-conscious. But everybody seemed really comfortable. I don't know. I think I liked Helena's the best, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it.
I think I like Michaela's the best. I think they all were really good photos. I think specifically in that one, I liked Michaela's pose a little bit better.
Okay.
Like, they were a little like intertwined. There was a little bit of like connection between the two of them. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a good time. We go to rehearsals with Orville Peck, and Virgo decides she's going to show off. It's the time to show off. So instead of going off, they're showing off.
And you might as well. I mean, when you can do runs like her, go for it. I still want to hear that 6-part harmony layered in there. So hopefully when she records an album, she'll have a song with a bunch of layered vocals. That would be fun.
Come on now, Virgo. We're waiting for it.
Yeah, I think one of the standout moments from here was Michaela recording her lines or her song, and she was really struggling to hit that high note.
So emotional. And then we get before the struggle of hitting the high note as well, she's very open and honest with Orville, being like, ever since my transition, like, my voice dropped. I haven't sung. Like, I'm not comfortable with my singing voice. I haven't really done it in 3 years. And then she pops up and sounds absolutely fucking gorgeous.
Yep.
And I'm like, good. I'm glad. And just the way Orville Peck was like, no, you're gonna get there. Just fucking do it. Like, being so complimentary and supportive and coaching her, but also like, bitch, get your shit together. At the same time, it was so sweet. It was so sweet.
Yeah, I really liked it. I really do think it was just like self-consciousness that was getting her. Like, you could tell she kept going for her head voice and not going for the chest voice. And I'm like, try the chest voice, girl. You got this. In fact, I was at home watching it, and I was like, can I hit that? Because I really don't have a very high range. Like, I'm a baritone / bass. But I cannot sing a lot of the high notes. But I'm like, let me try that. And I tried it, and I hit the note, and I'm like, oh, if I can hit it, you definitely have a way higher voice than me. You can hit it. Yeah.
I don't remember what the note was, but I might be able to hit it. Who knows?
I'm sure you can. If I can do it, pretty much anybody can.
I mean, I've got a pretty decent, I'm like tenor baritone. Like, I go between the two typically. So, but yeah, otherwise, we find out Michaela's song is about being, an empowering Black woman and talking about the Black women in her life. Virgo's song is about how the stars have aligned and all that stuff. Helena is just saying poison the whole time, basically. And Minnie's going weird.
I love it.
And
it was wonderful.
I respect the hell out of her for going weird.
Yeah, me too. I do think she was ambitious with how wordy her lines were. I'm like, oh, you're fitting a lot of words in there quickly. But I still really like the lyrics, and I like the advice she was getting from Orville with like changing, like starting off deep, drag queen, all of that. I thought that was smart, like adding dynamics and layers there. So yeah, this was a fun rehearsal to watch.
Right. And then we go to Rehearsals with Hollywood, and it's a lot of the similar things. Like, it's just like, and I really appreciate Hollywood being like, well, this is your song. What do you want to do? And it felt very collaborative, and I appreciate Hollywood Jade for that. He's always been that way, and always kind of adjusting choreography to where people are. Minnie was like, well, I think my choreo skills are at like a 6. Proceeds to mess up the choreo. I was like, oh no, Minnie, no.
Minnie's good at a lot of things. I think we might have found the thing that's not her biggest strength.
I think so. I think so. Because even the choreo that they had in the girl group wasn't really choreo. It was choreo. It wasn't difficult choreo. It's not like this is a finale on Drag Race, Lipsync, full on 8 count, shikak, boom. Whereas this time it was, and we'll talk about how that went for her. But we go into the workroom, last day in the workroom. They all basically get ready, and then we just go to the runway. Like, there's not much.
Nope.
So, and I wasn't prepared to hit the button this early.
There they are. Brooklyn looks great.
Allergies are coming for me today. Jesus Christ.
Brooklyn really knows how to pull off a finale look. She always saves some of the best looks for finales. So I really like this. I'm not the fashion guy from the podcast, but I do think everybody else looks good. Tracy always looks good with blonde. And Brad, what does Brad remind me of? He looks like he belongs in a Tim Burton film right now.
For me, he was giving major Jean-Paul Gaultier with the stripe. Like, I'm thinking about like the nautical collection from Jean-Paul Gaultier that's been referenced a few times on Drag Race before.
Yep.
I also want to point out that this Brooklyn finale gown was made by our dearest Utica.
Ooh.
And Utica knocked it out of the park again.
She did.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this look.
That's good. She looks
But
great.
I gotta be honest. Orville Peck is kind of stealing the show here. That man is so fashionable. I'm just, he's such a sweetheart. And hot. But what else is new? And he has a great voice. So, no, I love when Tracy came out in the blonde, I was like, Tracy, the blonde. No, I loved it. Loved it. They all looked good. Brooke looks great. What else is new? Shocker. But let's talk about our music videos. We have Michaela with, what was it? Limitless? What's the name, I believe? Minnie's. I don't remember the name of Minnie's offhand.
Like,
but I know that
wonderful or something like that.
Oh, wonderful. Correct. Yes. Helena with Poison. Shocker. And Virgo with The Stars Have Aligned.
Mm-hmm. I thought all of them were good in their own ways. um, yeah, Michaela, I thought she sounded really good. It felt like she was really like taking it to church too, with the slow vibrato throughout the song. Um, I don't know that the song itself, like melodically, was my favorite, but I think she did really well with the verses and the performance. Minnie, I thought was a lot of fun. It was so campy, so silly. I laughed a lot. I don't think it was the best performance of the four, but I like that she committed with it and really went with it. Helena, I think Helena might be the best lyricist in this cast, and people are sleeping on her. She knows how to write a verse. This is 3 for 3, really, really strong verses, really great branding. So I love that. I love that she brought the Jennifer Tilly back in it. Virgo, though, this felt the most like a real performance. Like it was a good song, good verse, good choreography, as Xana would
The
say,
choreography, yes, the choreography.
and just the vocals were there. So like it was so well rounded. Um I think my two favorite, just the songs itself, were Virgo and Helena personally.
I think it's difficult because all of them succeeded in different parts of this challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes it interesting, because I think for me, who had the most well-rounded performance, given, look, choreo, song, all of that kind of stuff, I think for me it would maybe be Michaela.
Okay. I can see that.
She definitely struggled with some nerves at the very, very top. It took her, for me at least, it took her a second to settle into the performance. And when she did, there was a really good energy about her that I really, really loved. It felt very music video diva, and I just absolutely lived for it. Minnie had one of my favorite songs. I think lyrically it was written very well. Only she can do something like this, and I think it worked really, really well for her. But I do think overall she had the weakest of the 4 performances, based mostly on the fact that she dropped some of the choreo, and it kind of threw off a lot of the rest of her performance. Because as soon as, and the editors, y'all shady for this, when she messes up the choreo, and then you immediately get a zoom in on her face, and she's kind of like, I was like, not too much on Minnie. Not too much on Minnie. Helena, I think, had the best written song. I agree with you. The lyricism that she had here was wonderful. She looked incredible. I say this a lot with Eurovision songs too, so I'm going to say it here. I wish there was a little bit less repetition of the Poison. Like, I wish there was just a little bit more going on. And I think Virgo had a very strong performance. Lyrically, not as dense as some of the other people when it comes to the actual song itself. But everything made sense for her. The flow in the second verse was really, really good. I think the thing that I didn't love the most about this challenge was just that all of the songs were the exact same backing. And
were they?
They're the exact same backing track. Like, it's the exact same backing track with the exact same syncopations, the exact same like low moment into the chorus with the sprinklers in the back. They were all the same.
Wow.
And I don't think that provided, especially for someone like Minnie trying to do this like comedic song, I don't think it served her really anything.
Huh. That's funny, because I was saying that Michaela's song that she was given, because I thought she had a different song than everybody else. But for me, it sounded a little bit more dated. But that's so crazy that they were able to, I mean, like, you telling me Helena, the music in her song is the same as Michaela's, that blows my mind, because they sound so different. It had to be.
Well, obviously, and then there's different embellishing on everything too. But yeah, it had to be it had to be the same song. Because
Okay.
everything, melodically speaking, as far as like the structure of the song, melodically was the same in all 4 songs.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to keep it fair like that, I guess.
Yeah.
But with that said, I mean,
It
I'm
keeps it
impressed that
boring.
each of them made the song their own. So,
Agreed.
I did want to also bring up Minnie's lyrics because she spoke a lot in the song about how she won you over and turned you into a minion.
Mhm.
And that's actually kind of true because I know a lot of people like went into the season maybe counting her out, myself to a degree as well. And she really did win me over. So I thought that was smart that she was able to kind of pick up what the audience might be thinking way before the actual episodes aired. So that
Right.
was impressive.
Yeah, to have that level of forethought, I think is really a really, really interesting thing to have.
Mhm. I do. I know I don't want to necessarily spoil what happens with the top 2, but how big of a role do you think these songs played in determining who the top 2 were?
I think the 2 best performers of this episode in this challenge were the top 2 of the season.
Mhm.
I think. I just think it was well, and we can honestly move to that part. I think I don't have anything else to say about the challenge specifically. So,
Right.
Because obviously we'll talk about looked over and look over here, do all those wonderful things, but and then we get Miss Congeniality. We'll talk about Miss Congeniality here in a second as well, but we end up finding out they do their critiques, they do the photos of Venus, all that kind of stuff. Thank God for me there was no talk to your younger self, because I hate those moments personally. But we find out that it's going to be dropped from a top 4 to a top 2, as it typically is on Canada's Drag Race, and we find out that the top 2 of the season are Michaela and Virgo.
Mm-hmm.
Thrilled. First and foremost, thrilled. I said it last week, and I've been saying it all season. I would have been more than okay with anyone winning this season, because all 4 of these queens are so lovely, so talented, and the season has been so even that I just absolutely love it. For me, though, my 2 favorite performances of the final 4 performances were Michaela and Virgo. So I do personally think a lot of the challenge had to play into who made it to the final 2, because ultimately, if we're going on track record, the 2 best track records in the competition are Helena and Minnie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I really do think, just because, and it's not like anyone had, an absolutely amazing or an absolutely horrible track record. They were all about even. So for me, it does feel like the fairest way to do it. And Canada does typically do this, and I really appreciate them for it. Whoever performs the best in the finale is the person that's going to win the season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that happens every time, but usually they do a really, really good job at that. So I think for me, the challenge definitely played a major role in ultimately deciding Michaela and Virgo as the top 2.
Yeah, I agree. I actually did get spoiled on who the top 2 were about a week and a half ago. And when I saw that, I was like, huh, Minnie's not in there because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Minnie had 2 wins, never in the bottom 2. Plus we had Helena, who was high more than anybody else this season, never in the bottom 2. So it was like, that's interesting that especially for me, Minnie, I thought with her having what seems to be the best track record, I thought she would likely be in the top 2. I'm like, how does that happen that she's not there? And I'm not saying I'm mad that she wasn't there. Like, I would have loved to see it because I do love Minnie, but this is a very unique top 4 for me, where any combination of 2 being the final 2, I wouldn't be mad at, just because I think they've each really displayed their own unique strengths throughout the season. Like, none of these 2 people have the most similar strengths, or none of these 4 people. But yeah, it did catch me off guard. But after watching the finale, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense for sure.
And any combination of the top 4 could have been the top 2, and I would have understood it too.
Mhm.
Like if it had been Helena and Minnie, absolutely would have gotten it. Helena and Michaela, absolutely. Minnie and Virgo, absolutely. Michaela and Minnie, absolutely. Like I would have understood all of the possible permutations of who could be the top 2, and that's not always the case on Drag Race, and I really like that was the case here. Now, based on who I wanted to win, I mean, I did say last week I wanted Michaela to win, so I was happy to see Michaela in the top 2. I was happy to see Virgo in the top 2, and I was equally devastated for both Helena and Minnie, who I think have just given us absolutely incredible drag this season. So,
I agree. And honestly, like Minnie and Helena are 2 of the people from the cast that I like see a lot of my personality in both of them in different ways. So I think for that reason alone, I was like, oh, I feel so connected with them. So I was like rooting for them to do well, not necessarily over Michaela and Virgo, but this was just going to be bittersweet no matter what.
It was like, I'm going to be happy for who's in the top 2, and I'm going to be devastated for who doesn't make it.
Exactly.
Equally, where I'm like, I'm going to be so happy for who wins, and I'm going to be so devastated for who gets runner-up. Like, it's one of those situations, which I'm glad we have this season, because like I said, not every season has that. But
I know that we didn't really talk about them talking about their photos and everything, but there was specifically one person that really stood out to me during that, and it was Michaela, and talking about how her mom said, oh, my son's name is going to be in lights, and she's like, well, my mom was wrong about that, but her daughter's name is going to be in lights. So I thought that was a really beautiful, like, I love that. I love that. That was great.
I love her. I loved that too. I love that too. We do get Miss Congeniality crowned. We get good old Kitten Caboodle coming back. Yay!
Yeah, I love her.
Kitten. I love Kitten. She looked stunning. I didn't pull the look, unfortunately. I forgot to, but she looked stunning. And she announces that Miss Congeniality for season 5, to legitimately no one's surprise whatsoever, is Jaylene time. Yay! And I love that when we went back to, Kiki with the girls and, basically fight for Miss Congeniality, they did anything but that. It was like, let's air our grievances. What did I miss?
I was surprised some people were like going there with the conversation, because I'm like, girl, just save it for after the vote.
You don't have to say some people. Sanjina went there. You don't have to say some people, David. Sanjina went there. Sanjina brought up not being saved by Minnie. Yeah. She was the only one.
And when she started talking about like, oh yeah, I have issues, I was like, what? Like, what was it? Like, I literally could not think of what she was mad about. I don't know about you, but then when she explained it,
I knew immediately.
Oh, yeah. I did not. I didn't. I mean, because that happens to, like, literally every week there are 2 people that aren't saved, and so I just thought everybody who hasn't been saved, like, they get it and they're chill with it. I respect her for being honest though, because
I do love it.
Yeah.
And in the same way as well, I really appreciated the moment that we did get with Xana and Michaela, where Xana was like, well, I have unconditional love for you. And Michaela in that moment going, I understand. I could have done some things better. I'm not good right now. But we'll see what happens. And they cut to her in confessional being like, me and Xana are going to be best friends in a year. And guess what? They are. So y'all can stop online. Y'all can stop. You're still going and y'all could stop. But no, I loved it. And then Tara just going, I missed everything. And I was like, I missed Tara.
I did too. She looked so good too.
I
just saw her there and I was like, this is a pretty, pretty, pretty girl. I love what she does with her face.
And I love as well Uma giving her flowers, being like, you might have been the first one out, but like getting on Canada's Drag Race is a sign of talent. Like,
Exactly.
you're not going to get on here if they didn't see some talent in you.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate Uma for that.
Yeah.
So,
And I like Tiffany saying, I never got saved.
as the resident
Which is
bottom
cool.
of the
Poor Tiffany.
season, and I was like, yep, sounds about right, Tiff. Sounds about right. But let's talk about our top 2 lip sync. We have Michaela and Virgo lip syncing to From This Moment On by Shania Twain. It's not a Celine Dion song.
That was my first thought. I was like, is this the first time they didn't do a Celine Dion song?
No.
Right. Last year they didn't either.
Season 1 was not either.
Oh, really?
It was I'm a Superstar by the fabulous woman that was on this season. What's her?
The one from episode 1?
Yeah, no. Simone Denny.
Oh, okay.
Her group. I don't remember what they were. The 90s group. But it was You're a Superstar. Because you remember Bobo doing the flip. All I remember from that lip sync is Bobo doing a flip.
Okay.
I don't know why. But lip syncing to the widest song possible.
That's a good song.
So it's a good song. Not for a finale lip sync.
Really?
I didn't love it.
Oh.
I think
it makes
both of them did. I think both of them did the best that they possibly could. It's a wedding song.
It doesn't have to be.
But like, it's kind of a wedding song.
I mean, I thought the lyrics worked for From This Moment On. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and Michaela was in a wedding dress, so honestly, who cares?
True.
Yeah, the lip sync was good, and I think they both did the absolute best that they could with what they were given.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the elephant in the room, besides Jaylene's dress, is that Michaela had that huge headpiece on, and it really constricted her and restricted her, and there was only so much
impeded on her performance.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I was hoping like she would be able to take it off and really go for it, but with that said, I do think she did well considering the circumstances.
Yeah.
It was hard to stop watching Virgo, though. Virgo was so good in this lip sync. I really, really liked this.
I agree. Yeah, I think Virgo did such a good job. Unfortunately, I don't think it's a lip sync I'm going to remember. I'm going to remember their first lip sync, not this one. But that also makes, in the past 3 months, if I had a nickel for every time that the top 2 of the premiere ended up being the top 2 of the season, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a whole lot, but it's kind of wild that it happened twice. But yes, they lip synced. We get a winner. And we find out that the winner of season 5 of Canada's Drag Race is Virgo! Yay!
I was very happy.
Thrilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrilled.
Mm-hmm. I thought she did so well this finale. I thought she looked stunning. Like, this was the best she's looked for me. So yeah, I was really like, honestly, okay, I'm gonna be very honest. So I did see like the Twitter reaction about like who should win the season, and it was overwhelmingly in favor of Michaela. And Virgo did have the least support on Twitter for the win. So I really was thinking, like, is that going to play a factor? Is that going to be a factor here? But when I was watching the episode, I'm like, Michaela did great. Virgo was amazing this episode. So it really did feel correct for me that Virgo would win. But I was like, but is she going to get it just because she doesn't have the fan support? So I'm really glad that the decision was not made to like appease the fans and give it to the person who actually killed the finale. And I really hope anybody who wasn't necessarily rooting for Virgo to win, I'm hoping that after watching this finale, they're like, well, she kind of changed my mind. She kind of ate up this finale and she really deserved it.
Yeah, I think Virgo overall, given all facets of the finale, really was the person that did the best. And I think, for me at least, even if they're not my absolute fave, and I'm not saying Virgo isn't my fave because I absolutely love Virgo and I love this whole cast. But for me, the person that does the best in the finale should be the person that wins the season. 9 times out of 10, the person that does the best in the finale should be the person to win the season. And for me, the person that did the best in this finale was Virgo.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely thrilled for her. I also think there is and I'll just come out and say it. I think there is a very outward marketability for Michaela Couture to be on another season of DragRace.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I think all of the top 4 could. I think Michaela stands the best shot currently.
Mm-hmm.
I think at the end of the day, Michaela makes great TV.
She does.
And I think, not that it would be a shame, because I do want her to have a crown, but I think it would be a shame to not be able to get another season of Spicy Michaela on TV.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, there is just something globally marketable about Michaela.
Yep. I agree.
And
that totally could have been a factor in the decision here.
It had to be, right? Yeah. Like, all of these decisions are made with a lot of factors in mind. It's not a singular factor. I think Virgo overall on this season was the most well-rounded entertainer that we saw and is very, very good for the crown. I think Helena brought a lot of incredible fashion and a lot of incredible moments, and aesthetically, she is someone that I would love to see on another season just to see what her brain has and what more she can create. I think Minnie is so funny, and I think Minnie has a lot of global appeal as well when it comes to future seasons, based solely on the fact that she's an Australian-born Chinese person. Like, I think, and that provides so much of a unique aesthetic for her. Hell, I might start campaigning Minnie Wang for Down Under All-Stars. I don't know.
I don't know. That would be a little weird since she wasn't on Down Under.
But who cares?
Yep. Another
Jimbo
factor
was on All Stars 8. Does it matter anymore?
True.
No.
Yep. Another factor though is I really do think of the top 4, Virgo's the one that you can see, oh, this is what she's going to do with her time as a winner. Like, sure. She has a launching pad with her music, and especially since Priyanka set that standard of, you know what, I can be the drag superstar that goes out there and has a killer music career. I see Virgo following a similar path. Very different music than Priyanka, which I love. In fact, I want to collab. I think that would be killer. But I can see her using her year reign to really start that music career and really like just go on fire. So I think that's going to be so cool to watch over the next year and beyond.
I cannot wait to see what she's going to do. I'm so thrilled for Virgo. Congrats, Diva. Yes. Mm-hmm. And we talked to her this morning. So check out our interview with her. Because she's an angel of life and we adore her. So all right. Who other than me won the draft? It's not me.
There were a few shakeups. So it got interesting. But
first draft champion of 2025.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we're about to have it. So River and Eduardo actually switched places in the end. Eduardo came in 6th place now, and River bumped up to 5th place.
Oh, wow.
Logan, you did remain at 4th place with 47.5
I won the battle
points.
of the bottoms.
Yes. Lana was in 3rd place with 57 points. But there was a shakeup in the top 2. I came in 2nd place with 67.5 points. And Brandon won the draft with 71 points. And you know what? Brandon hasn't won many drafts, so I'm happy for him.
No, if any.
Yeah, I don't think he at least didn't win any last year, I'm pretty sure.
I don't think he's won any. We'll say it's a first draft win for Brandon. Yay, Brandon.
Good job.
Woo! And that is that on season 5 of Canada's Drag Race. It's done. It's over. And now we have to wait for season 6.
Yeah.
Can it already be here? I would like to.
I wish.
Yeah. Me too. But it means we're down officially to one franchise of Drag Race.
Yep. Crazy.
I mean, it's the main one, so it makes sense. But yeah, we are we're gonna be, doing some fun, new, interesting things on the channel coming up. So we will be here talking season 17 of RuPaul's Drag Race. Don't worry. But we'll have some other fun drag videos coming for you all soon. January 2025 has really been the time for the TV channel. So if you really want to see a bunch of us talk about reality TV, the Cup TV is kind of the place to do it right now. And really the main source of stuff, because we've got 2 seasons of The Traitors. We've got Australian Survivor. We've got Deal or No Deal Island. We are soon to have Challenge All-Stars. There may be some Love Island All-Stars in the mix. Ooh. But yeah, and when we get more seasons of drag things, we'll be here to talk drag things. So thank you for joining us for this season of Canada's Drag Race. A big shout out once again as well to ADPR in Canada for getting us exit interviews for this season. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. And thank you to all the queens who have been just absolutely wonderful to us this whole season. I think this season and this group of queens is going to always have a special place in our hearts here. So
for sure.
Go support all of these queens. Side note, Perla announced finally her secret thing that she's been holding on to, and she's doing a fun editorial fashion film. So I cannot wait to see what Perla's gonna do.
She did break that news to me. She told me I was the first person to know. It was in my interview I did with her.
How fabulous. I love that. But yes, go support all of these queens. Go support your faves. We'll be back soon to talk about season 17. Subscribe, like, and share on the way out. Check out the description where you can find all of our audio podcast links, our other YouTube channels, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, including the not limited 2-cup mug. With all that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So, cheers!
Cheers.